So, yes, hello and welcome to our live stream. This is our monthly live stream that we do. And sometimes I have other people join me with guests, which is lovely. And we draw along. But today I'm basically going solo. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be drawing foxes and I'm going to be chatting about um, the amazing trip that I took this week with Helen Stark and Vivian Minto, who some of you will know. And yeah, so I'm going to be telling you all about my trip and all the amazing exhibitions I went to see. If anyone would like to say hello and where they're from, I always love that. Hang on a second. I'm just making sure that my chat window is open. Yes. Okay. So yeah, if anyone wants to say hello, where you're from, are you sketching along today? I haven't actually put up my reference photo that I'm using, but yeah, I will. Hi, Britta. Hi, Britta. Britta from California. Mira. Oh, hi, Mira from Vienna. Oh, beautiful Vienna. Oh, I would love to go back to Vienna. Oh my gosh, it's a dream. Um, yeah, so I will be putting the reference photo up that I'm going to use in the replay. So what I'm hoping to do today is to sketch foxes. They're one of my favourite animals to draw. Hi, Michelle. Oh, I hope you're well, Michelle, and you're recovering. Uh, um, and you're doing okay. Yeah. So I'm going to be sketching foxes, and I wanted to do loose. It's my favorite brand of sketchbook. It opens up nice and flat. The paper quality is good. It's nice. It's not too. It's quite heavy. It's a fairly thick paper. I'm going to say it's 200 grams, but I might be wrong. It might be 220. But as you can see, it opens up nice and flat. And it's just always really works really well for me. This is Cara Cara, if anyone uses these. So I'm going to be using this. And I've got Diamine inks today. And also I will be probably using a bit of liquid graphite as well. One of my favourite things to use. This is Art Graph. And what else will I be using? I mean, I might do some quick loose sketching with chisel pens. Um, and these have got like a lovely angle on them. They're quite nice for doing different types of line width. And this one is a pen, but it's like a brush. It's like a brush pen. And it's quite soft. So I've got those. And what else have I got? My favourite, this is Faber-Castell Pitt Graphite Matte 14B, which is my favourite. I bought two more the other day when I was in London and going to art shops. I bought two more. It's a bit of a habit that because they're a fairly newish product, and I love them so much that I worry that they might one day just sell out or they just maybe stop making them or something. So whenever I think about it, I pick up a couple so I have a good stash. But it's the only thing I really do that with because I don't know, for some reason in my head I just worry that they'll run out, and I do get through them fairly quickly. I've got a tiny little stub of another one. So yeah, I'm really pleased I got those. I didn't go mad in the shops, the art shops. I only really bought some where is it? So some gouache. Really boring. I think compared to Helen. I don't know if Helen's here. I mean, I really literally just bought some gouache and pencil, so it was a very minimal bit of shopping, but nonetheless, we went to two different art shops, which I'll share more about. Also, for a bit of colour, I have just got some pencils to add on as well as the purple pumpkin ink. So yeah, I've got some pastels as well. So I have got Unison pastel, which is kind of like a dark. It's not really a dark. It's quite a muted orange. and then I've got some greys as well, this is beautiful and really soft. So yes, I have a few different things to use, and I'm going to try and do some quick sketching. And like I say, you're very welcome to find some fox images and sketch along. I haven't printed out the image, but like I say, in the replay, it'll be there. Or you can just work on your project or just listen. And also, and if you'd like to ask questions, hi Georgina, if you would like to ask any questions, I can keep an eye on the chat as well. And Nim, oh hello, and I'm trying to think who else has come in. I've just seen somebody. Oh, Sitzel, you've been hi from Norway. You're sketching. Oh, amazing. That's lovely. I love to hear that. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure I've got everything in place now. Try and get that higher up. So while I'm doing this, it's a good opportunity to get yourself set up with your drawing, unless you're already doing that. And I'll talk you through as I'm going. I will talk you through the materials that I'm using at the time and how I'm using them. Just going to move this over there. Okay. So I'm going to start off with some quick sketching. I'm just going to grab a paintbrush. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. Oh, it's got some really lovely fox images here. So I've got one where it's a fox kind of emerging from quite a short kind of tree it is, but it's looking very curiously out of shot at something, and it's really nice. I was trying to find some ones that were moving, where foxes were moving, but I was struggling to find them. So I'm just going to work quickly, not take too long on them. I apologise for my slight shadow of this here. I don't know if anyone else has if anyone has a paparazzo phone camera holder, and it becomes with a light. If anyone's got one, please let me know. I was really hoping it will have arrived by now, and it hasn't. So I'm like, oh, I already got it. I really wanted it to arrive so that I could use it for today's drawing, but never mind. It's fine. So yeah, there is a bit of a shadow, unfortunately, so I apologise. But I'm hoping that it will eliminate the shadow when I have it, because it's basically like a camera holder, and it has a light attached so that the light helps to knock out some of the shadows, but never mind. Right, so I'm going to lift it up a little bit. I'm actually going to start off with see. I'm going to start off by drawing with actually my brush pen. So I'm completely changing tack, but and I'm going to do some quick drawings. Boop. Okay. So once I'm in my little flow, then I will kind of start telling you a little bit about the brilliant trip that we had. In fact, I'll just tell you now. I think it's okay. I feel like I've kind of settled into this okay. So I've actually been to 2 exhibitions. I've gone up to a lot of exhibitions in fairly short space of time, but I feel like my head is just reeling from all of and you have to kind of take in a lot of information. And it's been amazing, but also it's just, forget how tiring it is, going to exhibitions and just people and having to travel to places. I'm just using a water brush pen now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to this brush pen I'm using is a pencil, pencil brush pen in grey, but it's much darker. I think I put a new cartridge in, and it's really dark, and it's a little bit heavy. So I'm just going to use a bit of water diluted and just try and dilute it down a bit because it's a bit much. So I went to a place called Compton Verney, which is it's kind of privately owned. It's actually a charity. So it's a house. It was like a big country house and grounds that is now almost like an arts centre, I suppose. So it's beautiful. Like, and they run lots and lots of exhibitions and activities. Very inclusive, as in, they love having families there, and it's incredible, really. Like, it's so popular with families. I brought my son there before. He's actually done some really lovely workshops there as well in the holidays. But yeah, they had an exhibition on called The Shelter of Stories, and I'll see if I can find the information. And let's have a look. So The Shelter of Stories explores how storytelling interacts with belonging, passing on stories, making them up, and sharing them can foster feelings of safety and home. So the importance of stories in, I suppose, understanding who we are, where we've come from, where we're going, sharing ideas, connecting with others. It was really powerful. There was music, there was live performance, there was just lots of different themes within the exhibition. So there was different rooms. So there was some that were to do with home and place, and some that were to do with like fairy tales and animals. So it was there was so much to see. I loved the performances and the music. It's one of my absolute favourite bits of it. It was just mesmerising. There was a singer who was a Polish singer, but she sings like lots of Romanian songs from and just songs from lots of different cultures that tell stories or like collects kind of like collecting stories from around the world and then singing, and then they were communicated through song. So that was beautiful. And she had a lot of different instruments that she was using. And yeah, it was magical. It was really magical. So that was last weekend. And then, so I'm just having a sip of my tea. And then, so I had a full day there, and then I went to London on, what day are we now? London on Tuesday and Wednesday, and met up with Helen Stark, who a lot of you will know, visual journaler extraordinaire and painter. And I'm using now a Ecoline. He's doing the same fox, but I'm just using a different material. So I'm just loosening up a little bit. Just kind of gets I haven't done any drawing today, so this is a nice way of just loosening up. And Vivian, just a wonderful person, so kind and generous, really passionate about art, and her two incredible Dachshunds. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. And fell in love with her Dachshunds, who travel about with her, and I make everyone smile wherever we go. There is just people so happy. Like, I don't think I've ever been around London and walked around London and seen so many happy faces. It's quite unusual. People are quite often a bit grumpy. They're not necessarily saying hello and being friendly. It's not known for it necessarily. So yeah, it was amazing. And first of all, I went to the Natural History Museum. There was a exhibition on. Actually, there was a couple of exhibitions, and it was one of them was a film narrated by David Attenborough, and it was a very immersive experience in that it was basically just huge walls all around, and the floor, everything was projected onto the walls and the floor. So the whole film, you felt like you were just in the film. It was a really unusual experience, but yeah, it was what I guess they would call immersive, immersive, and it really was. And it felt like more powerful, I would say, and moving because of that. Um, so that was really special. And then there was like a VR, again, like another kind of immersive experience where you put on a VR headset and went through different rooms and looked at different kind of like setups with props, but then obviously projector, you could see through the VR headset that they were little not really stories, but it was almost about like what our future can be, and how if we were to look after our habitats and nature, and consider them more and really respect them, and do more to conserve things, then this is what our future can be. And it was beautiful. It was kind of one of those things where you're just in absolute wonderment and you're just in awe. I was in awe the whole way through. And I've not somebody that's really experienced VR, virtual reality, very much. So it felt a little bit unnatural at first, but then once you're really in it and you're listening to the narration and yeah, there's a lady who basically talks the whole way through about all the different habitats and creatures, and what affects them, what is endangering them, and what we can do to help, and what, almost like success stories, and what benefits them. So yeah, it was a very kind of very. I think the whole experience of being there in those two exhibitions were just very moving, very powerful, and I think really hopeful. It was just there was a lot of hope. Quite scary as well, because you think there's so much work to do. there's so much that we're up against. And there's obviously, it can feel a bit like you go 2 steps forward with progress, I guess, in one conservation area, and then back again. So it can feel like a real uphill battle, like pushing a big boulder up the hill and struggling to keep that boulder moving and making any headway. So yeah, it was it felt quite raw, but also there was a real overriding sense of hope with it at the end. So, and obviously watching Sir Attenborough, king of nature, and just listening to him is just very soothing. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was beautiful. And one of the things that I saw, I actually haven't done enough. I've been back, came back yesterday. My head was just swimming with thoughts and ideas, and trying to just, I don't know, just trying to just process everything that I'd seen. So my goal today was to really try and make a bit of a list of everything I want to look at and research, but I haven't quite got through it yet. So I think that will continue into next week. But yeah, there was so much. And I think also because I didn't just do the Natural History Museum, but we also after the Natural History Museum, we went to the V&A, and we sketched, which was great. I haven't been to the Victoria and Albert Museum, and I haven't been there for many years. And yeah, it was and I loved it. Was actually very peaceful. I really liked it. It had a very different vibe to it. So it was really nice to be able to just sit and draw, and um, yeah, it felt very calming. The Natural History Museum, if anyone has been, knows it's manic. And I didn't go anywhere near the dinosaur exhibits, nowhere near them. And I was like, oh gosh, it felt quite. And even though I was in those exhibitions which were separate, they weren't included. I had to get those separately and book onto those separately. So they were lovely and quiet. They were very quiet. But yeah, the other exhibits were just a bit mad. So it was nice to go to V&A and then to do some sketching. And then that's when I met with Vivian and Helen. Right. While it's on, I'm going to try and carry on for a moment because it does seem to be kind of working a bit better. It's hard to get into my flow because of all these little issues. But I'm going to keep trying for a little bit longer and see what happened. Oh, I'm glad Sitzel Lindhagen. Oh, thank you. That's great. I feel like it's been a little while since I actually sketched foxes properly, and maybe I need to do a drawing session just on foxes. But I feel like maybe whenever I start to talk about the experience of my lovely trip, I feel like it breaks the internet. So maybe I need to not talk about it because I'm now just thinking I'll just kind of keep drawing. So yeah, this is me trying to do some like quicker studies and not kind of overworking them. So I'm going to move on to another one. Now it does seem that it's kind of working, so I'm going to just carry on for a short time. I'm just finding another photo, and then I'm going to do a little bit more sketching. Let's see, what have I got? Oh, okay. See if I can find. Oh, there's a nice one here. I'm going to use that one. So when we were in London, I was really excited because for many reasons, but I was really hoping to see an urban fox, and amazingly we did. It was near where Vivian lives, and I think because it was bin night, as in the bins were going to be collected, it was definitely a good fox evening for spotting foxes. And yeah, we came across one that was just having a little rummage in the bins, and I know obviously people find them quite difficult because of that, for that reason. So yeah, but it was I mean, though it was a little bit further away, it wasn't really up close, but it was enough to see a fox. And I say in the wild, I mean it's like urban wild, isn't it? It's a slightly different thing, but it was still magical because it kind of because we went with her dogs. I guess it can even though they are very used to people, they will still be spooked by dogs and stuff. So and people. So I think it's one of those things where you'd have to probably hang around really quietly to spot them. So what I'm doing is this is my Ecolone line pen, which I love to use as a little background. It kind of just gives me a bit of something to work on. And then this is liquid graphite in a brush pen. And I've really diluted it because sometimes with a liquid graphite, it can clog up the kind of mechanism. So I've diluted it a bit to see what happens. So we'll see. This is actually the first time I've used this. So we'll see. I need to just really squeeze it. Just giving it a little squeeze to see what comes out. And then I find it's just really, it's actually quite nice. So it's very subtle. Hopefully you can see that okay. Yeah, so what I can do actually is I can open up. I mean, I brought this with me. This is something I used. I took this with me to London as part of my little travel kit. But now I'm here, I can actually dip it in, and I'm just going to blob on some on here. That's the technical term, blob on. Blob on some liquid graphite. Probably should have stirred it, but never mind. So actually I can use what's in the lid because this is quite nice and thick. And that's a bit darker. Because I want to get those nice dark, the ends of the feet quite sooty, like sooty coloured. They're really nice. And then I'm going to use the slightly more watery. So what I've got here is my my palette, little ceramic palette. It's really cute because it's got a little acorn on there. And then I'm going to just pop some of that on. And then once I've kind of built up a bit of tone, I'm going to leave this white. Then I'll work on top with pencil. Now I was supposed to be using my pumpkin ink, but I think given all of the issues I've had, it's kind of thrown me a little bit, so I haven't quite got to that yet. But maybe the next one I do will be I'll use a bit of pumpkin orange ink. So yeah, if anyone's sketching, I'd love to know what you're sketching today. What you're working on. And, do you have anything lovely and creative planned for the weekend? I've probably visited more exhibitions in 1 week than I did probably in the whole of like 6 months of last year, which is great. So I'll be doing at the end of this month, there will be like a roundup post in the Creative Flock, and I will be basically putting in lots of stuff bits and pieces that I've been doing. It's kind of an update on life in general, things that I've been working on in the studio, and things that have caught my eye, things I've been reading. Yeah, it's a bit like my newsletter, but it only comes out at the end of every season. So I do a full newsletter at the end of the season. So if you wanted to know a bit more about the exhibitions I visited, took a lot of photos and videos, and I will be sharing that in that newsletter. So that'll come out at the end of February. And then at the beginning of March will be our basically welcome to spring. Can't believe it's the weather here is awful. It feels like it's just not stopped raining for, oh my gosh, I don't know now how many weeks, 2 weeks. So yeah, it's been really bad rain. It's made it quite hard to go out and do much drawing. I did try at the beginning of the month, but yeah, it's been tricky. So yeah, I'm hoping for spring to be a little bit more settled weather. Oh, Sidsel has been sketching a dog for commission and Fox now. Oh, that's amazing. You're going bridal gown shopping. Oh my God, that's exciting. Congratulations. Lost me again. Oh. But, that's wonderful. Oh, bridal gown shopping. Wow, what a lovely, have an amazing time. I hope your daughter finds the dress that she's looking for, and kind of the one that she's looking for will hopefully just appear. But even so, I mean, you'll just have a lovely time shopping. Amazing. Right, so I'm just going to keep a bit more of this on. Hopefully, even though you said you lost me again, hopefully I'll come back. Yeah, so getting myself. I kind of feel like there's still some snowy paintings and drawings I want to do. Um, I don't feel like I've quite gotten that out of my system. So we had so little snow here, and I was so excited, and then and then it all just disappeared. But yeah, it would be nice to do a bit more snowy painting and kind of. I mean, it's not necessarily the winter. I'm not like looking forward to necessarily the winter ending. It's just rain. Like I do like rain, but it's just too much. And it's just, like I say, it just means it makes it harder to go out and draw. For me personally, I don't mind a bit of wet weather, but it's just a bit crazy. Yeah. So in March we will have our spring theme in the membership, and there will be lots of resources and photos and kind of artist inspiration. We will have some drawing sessions, and yeah, it'll be lovely. And hopefully, it's a nice bit of celebration of the new season. I think spring's, I do find it can be very energizing if we have a nice bit of weather. I mean, I've seen there's been a lot of signs of spring already. To be fair, I saw when we were in London, I saw my first daffodil in London, central London, in a little garden near where Vivian lives. There's a daffodil, so that was really nice. Ours hasn't come out yet, but I think because it's a bit warmer, the temperature is a little bit higher in cities. Maybe that's why they don't know things. I think there was a camellia which was in. I think this is a vixen. Yeah, this must be a vixen. I can see. Yeah, I think this is like spring. This photo that I'm drawing, because I can see that she might be nursing because she's got these little teats here. So I think that's a vixen, which is actually lovely. It's got quite this photo I'm drawing from. Like I say, I'll put it into the replay, and it's really beautiful. It's very delicate face, but really big eyes. Yeah, I think this is I quite like this my way of working where it's just a little bit watery, but then I put it together with a bit of pencil. But it's nice to try different ways of approaching it. So yeah, so this was just a bit of Pentel brush pen with a bit of water and then a bit of pencil. This was Tombow. Or was it Tombow? Or was it my brush pen? I think it might have been a different brush pen. It might have been that one. Let's have a look. Oh no, it was this one. So it was a warm grey brush pen, so similar to the Tombow. And this has been the liquid graphite. So if you haven't subscribed to the Creative Flock, you can be a free subscriber, and there's some few bits and pieces in the archive, some free resources, and these live streams are free. And I do some, like last time I did a live stream was with Char Hamilton, and we had great times painting snowy scenes, and that's in the archive as well, along with some tips and some photo references to use. So I don't always do it in that kind of that extensively. Like I don't normally always provide lots of references, but on this occasion, I felt like I was having to do a lot of prep, so I wanted to share that with you. And hopefully that helped when it comes to kind of watching back. Yeah, very delicate little features on the on this fox. I feel like the nose needs to be a bit bigger. Yeah, that's a bit better. And I'm going to use some of this pencil here. And I think in a moment what I'll do is I'll do one with some purple ink, and then I will finish there, because I feel like I'm tempting fate, because I've actually had quite a good run with with the internet at the moment. It seems to be working a bit better. So, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be that lucky. I'm sure it's not going to last too long. But yeah, apologies again for anyone that had to rejoin. Yeah, so apart from when I went to the exhibition in London, so I went to the Natural History Museum, went to a few exhibitions there. And also had a look around the collections, the specimen collections. And then I met Vivian and Helen at the V&A, where we did some sketching. And then we went to, some of you might know, just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So, yes, went in there, didn't buy lots, but I love looking around anyway. So went in there, and then we had some cocktails, which was just delightful. And then, yeah, and then just was at Vivian's and just catching up and just kind of chatting and looking at books and cuddling dogs, and it was great. It was just amazing. It was so good. And then, yeah, after a lovely bit of rest, the next day we got a bus, sat on the top seat of a London bus with the dogs. It's just amazing. They are so delightful. And where else did we go? Oh, we went to Portland Gallery. There is an exhibition of Scottish artists, which I didn't know really anything about. And then Helen, she was a lovely introduction by Helen. And then we had some really good lunch, an amazing pistachio flan in this lovely cafe. And we went to the National Gallery. And I'm sure there was something else. I can't remember this. I just felt like we did so much. It was mad. There was just so many things we managed to fit in. I'm sure there's something I've missed, but it was, yeah, a bit of a whirlwind. And in the National Gallery, we saw Van Gogh's Sunflowers, which was, yeah, just extraordinary. I saw some beautiful Cézannes, which I had seen before, but I think I just don't know whether I'd seen them. Does that make any sense? When you kind of by some of Cézanne's paintings, the simplicity, just how calm it made me feel. Yeah. And so there was Degas, there was Van Gogh's, there was one Toulouse-Lautrec painting, and I was just I've always been really mesmerised by like Degas and his pastel work. His ability to paint the subject matter. He paints people and in performing and dancing, and how he can do that with just apparent, just absolute ease, which I know it's not, but it's amazing. It's not like we take a photo on our phones and we come back and we will be able to work from it. Like, how? It's just amazing. So yeah, so they were absolutely stunning. So that was a beautiful experience. So yeah, it was just all amazing. Oh, we had ice cream. Helen bought me ice cream. It was like a final flourish. It was, a bit cold and wet, but yeah, let's just have ice cream, because why not? you know, let's just finish off this amazing 2 days. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm probably going to leave that there. So, yeah, this was with liquid graphite, pit graphite, matte, my favorite, pencil 14B, and I think that was it for that one. Oh, and a bit of, and I started with using my Ecoline brush pen, and this was a cold grey. So what I'm going to do for last one, I'm going to paint, I'm going to do it in a bit of colour. Well, people have come back and joined, so hopefully this will, fingers crossed, people can still see what I'm doing. I haven't disappeared yet. Okay, so I'm going to find another photo and then use, okay, let's have a look. I'm laughing because there's so many beautiful photos. And I'm just like, oh my god, how do I choose? Okay. Oh, some amazing photos. I'm gonna try and just quickly pick one. There's this one here, which is lovely, of a fox. It's just lying down in the sun, and that's really nice. It looks like a young fox. So I'm going to do this one on another page, but I'm going to use my I'm going to use some colour. I'm going to come back. Okay, hopefully you can still see me. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, right. So I'm going to just move over slightly. This is my final one I'm going to give, and it's going to be in colour. So I'm going to work first in my, I'm going to just use this first to just get a bit of just something down so I can kind of ground the figure. So I've got a vague idea of where I'm going to put the where I'm going to put my colour. And then, okay. This fox has got enormous ears, like enormous. So I would love to know if anyone, does anyone like drawing foxes? Is this like a familiar thing for people to do, or is people tend to avoid animals? I'd be really interested to see people's thoughts. So one of my favourite things to draw. So that's just a vague like shape. And then what I'll do is I would get a brush and I will put some water down and then use some of my ink. Try not to overdo it. So I'll probably start with some ears here, and then now it's a little bit hard for me to see. It's getting a bit dark in my studio, so yeah, the shadow is not great, but I will try and do this without making a huge mess. Okay, so now it is a little bit, this is quite a vivid, don't always use this straight from the pot, but I'm going to on this occasion, and then I'm going to work on top with other colours, so it's not going to look this vivid. It's going to be kind of, this is like the initial colour. It looks a bit crazy. Hopefully I'll be able to then work on top. This is a very pretty fox. I don't know if it's male or female. It looks very young. Like its ears are almost like as big as its head, as the as the length of its head. It's amazing. Um, let's see, it's going to go around here now. It's going to be a bit quicker. It's very fluffy. It looks like it looks in some ways like it might have just had a bath and it's just drying out in the sun. How's that look to it? It's very nice. And what I'm going to do is mix some of that with my grey and just try and kind of dull down some of that orange. It's a bit mad. And even though it's got a lot of white on its chest, it's not pure white. It's kind of a grey. So, there's a grey. It almost looks a bit like when you've put your whites in on the wash and you've accidentally put like a black sock in or something. It's very, it's like a dirty white, like grey colour. Just going to make sure I get this nose right. That's the nose. Yeah, it's tricky because you want to give them the ears like a massive. It feels weird doing these ears so big, but they are really big. Yeah. And it's got it's lots of little bits of fuzz all kind of coming out because it's in the sunlight. You can see it's like all really soft. It's very quick. It's very cute. I'm going to try and mix that with a bit more. What kind of pen? So I'm not sure which. So which pen? Which pen? We go. So these These are brush pen. Chinese brushes, and the pen I was using on the previous page. I was using an Ecoline brush pen. So that's the Ecoline brush pen I was using. I was using that initially to put down a bit of something down on the ground, just to kind of give me something to work with. So I wasn't working completely on a blank page. And what else have I used? I've used a Pitt Artist soft brush pen. This one, I used that on the other page. So on here, I used the brush pen, which is nice. These are good little portable pens to use. So I hope that answers your question about that. But what I'll do is in the replay, I will put in, I will let you know what I've been using. Right, so what I'm going to do is just start to add in those colours there, that. So I'm just wanting to, knock back some of the orange because it's so orange. Yeah, I want it to be a bit more, there to be a bit more kind of golden elements to it as well. So I'll be using a few pencils on top. It's so cute. It looks like a little puppy at the moment. Right. And then I'm going to go in with my pencil. So cute. It's gone, but yeah, it's oddly cute. I often draw such cute things. I think it reminds me of like a type of dog, almost like a corgi. It has that kind of, look to it. I'm using my Pitt. My pencil is kind of water soluble, so when I'm using this now on top of this wet, my paint's still a bit wet, so it's by no means perfect. So ordinarily I'd quite like to dry it and then but don't have much time because I want to finish up soon. Just trying to make sure that my nose right. I've got some. Then what I do is I will start working using other colours on top. I can find my pencil. So I have colours like these, which I can work on top. It's going to be a bit tricky because it's not quite dry, so it might not work perfectly. But it's okay. And then I'm going to so I'm just going to put a bit underneath the eye, try and work that in. Okay, just making sure I've got all of my bits of kind of orange in, and then I can start working with pencils on top. Just trying to remember which bits are wet, which bits are dry, so I don't push a hole through my paper, but I think this will be okay. This nose is definitely bigger. Yeah, the nose is actually massive. I think because the sunlight is shining on it, it actually looks even bigger. It does look a lot like a corgi. This is a lot cuter than I was expecting to do, but I'm going to go with it now. So once, yeah, it's not as dry as I would like it to be, but it's okay. So I'm going to just work on top with these. This is Luminance pencil. This is terracotta. I'm just going to work on top and try and pick out a little bit of the kind of detail and make it look a bit more finished. Because at the moment it's quite half finished. I quite like actually when it's not too finished. Gorgeous, like fox in the sun, and it's just looking so cozy. It's just to feel a bit of sun on my face. Yeah, it's very diddy. So yeah, I'm just going to try and get a bit of pencil. I'll find my pencil. It's this little muzzle I want to work on. let's say it's not really it's not like a very white, it's not like entirely white. It's kind of bib. It's actually kind of greyish. So I'll leave some of it white. Right, I'll try and just darken it up around there. Its feet. Its feet are very dark. I'm just laughing a bit to myself because it's like I never do things this cute. So it's just laughing at myself because it's quite fun. But it is making me smile, which is lovely. And yeah, I'm loving how it's actually making me feel warm looking at this picture because it's so like sunny. I don't quite know what his tail is. I think his tail might have been it's kind of tucked underneath, but I'm not sure. But we'll kind of put it around there. So yeah, hopefully you can see my, yeah, it looks a lot like a corgi. I think I might have done his nose a bit too short, but never mind. So the other thing I would do with this is I would put some little white highlights and things on, but I might not do that right now. And I will do this a little bit more just under here. So it's lying on this kind of gravel path. So it's a little bit tricky to get the effect. I'll try. And then it's got some kind of, it's got like lots of greenery behind it, but don't necessarily want to add lots of extra colour, but we'll see. And then what I would do is go in with a bit of black. This is Caran-Ash Luminance, and it's a very hard, kind of waxy pencil. So this is going to add like a slightly stronger amount of black for its eye. Might need to work a bit more on the eye, but we'll see for now. And then its nose needs to be much darker. But my paper isn't quite dry yet, so maybe I'll work on that a bit more. So there's a very cute little fox. I think that's pretty much done. There's definitely more I could do. Um, I'm joined by a little fly. Uh, yeah, I think I'm kind of almost there with this really. I don't want to, I mean, I could definitely fiddle with it a bit more. And I think I do need to work a bit more on the ground because it's like he's floating on the ground at the moment. He or she, we don't know exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell, but it's basically sitting on gravel. We need to work a bit more on his little paws. I'm not sure if I've done those justice. Okay, so yeah, so these are my foxes. Um, it's looking slightly demonic, but that was my first attempt. This was with a bit of pencil brush pen and grey ink and some pencil and pit graphite matte, which is this Faber-Castell one. And this one was with this Pitt brush, Pitt Artist pen soft brush in warm grey. And then I worked on this, which was with liquid graphite. And that's, I think, is a Vixen. So that was nice. I like this one probably. And then this was me adding colour and going very cute on a little little tiny fox, which is, yeah, very cute.